Hello. Could you explain to us the process of applying for a student university loan?
Okay, so what you do is you apply a little bit nearer the time. In February, March time, the government will release the new figures for student finance. We at college will notify you that that's happening, and you actually apply the Gov UK student finance website. You look up and you register on there first of all, and then you do your application from there. But we'll let you know when that's about to happen. So you can't apply until the next cycle comes in place, end of February time.
Right. And what is the average price range of an accommodation of a university in London or Kent?
Okay, so the average price of accommodation completely varies on where you're looking. In Canterbury, for example, you'd be looking at the University of Kent in their own accommodation, so their halls of residence, you'd be looking at from between about 5,000 or just over 5,000 up to about 9,000. So if you're looking at a nice new shiny flat with your own ensuite bathroom, a double bed, nice size room, you'd be looking at towards 9,000 now. But you might get a much more basic room for about just over 5,000, which would be much smaller, shared bathroom, things like that. If you're looking in London, you're going to be looking at a lot more than that. And if you're looking somewhere sort of further north in the country, they might be less. That's for really campus accommodation. For in the town, it's similar really, it's similar. You'd be paying weekly of about at least something like, these days, 700 for a shared house, and then you'd pay your bills on top of that. So you have to sort of balance up what your bills are going to be and which is the best option for you.
And once I've completed a university, how do I pay the money back to the bank if I haven't got those financial stability at the moment?
So the thing about university debt is it's not like a standard debt, it's a little bit different. It acts as more as a tax than an actual loan. So you only start to pay back money when you're earning over 25,000. That's the limit for this year. It changes. If you're earning under that, if you're on sick leave, paternity leave, you're just not working, anything like that, you don't have a job, you're unemployed, you don't pay anything back. If you're earning £25,000 and above, then you pay back 9% over that amount. So if you're earning 26,000, then you'd only be paying back 9% of that £1,000. Which would be £90 a year. If you're earning 100,000, you'd be paying back 9% of 75,000, which is nearer sort of £7,500. So it works out a lot more.
Do you think higher education should be free in the UK?
I think it'd be fantastic if it was free, but it's been a long time now, it's been a lot of years that it hasn't been, unfortunately. I guess it's tightening up of costs and the fact that so many more students now go to university. So 20 years ago it was still free, but I guess it's the financial pressures that we now do have to pay for it. If it could be free, it would be fantastic. It would open it up even wider to more people. So yes.
Are there any benefits to students paying fees for higher education?
Not that I'm aware of. I was thinking about this. So when I went to university, it was free. I think the number of guided learning hours we had, taught hours, was much the same. My children have both been at university recently, and I can't see any benefits or any difference by the fact that they have to pay for it. So I think it's a similar service.
And did you know that universities are free in Scotland and many other countries around the world? And how does it make you feel that we have to pay higher education in the UK?
Yeah, it's a real shame, and compared to Scotland, and anyone that's born in Scotland can then access the education for free, it then highlights how different it is in England and in Wales that we have to pay, so it is a real shame. The situation there is, for anyone there, is really good, and as I was saying, I've heard of people who've talked about actually going over the border to have their children so they can get free education, because it's a massive difference. I think maybe in time that will change. There's talk that maybe they'll have to reduce that because it's the same, its costs as it is for everybody, but it would be fantastic if it's free.
Should universities be for free in the UK?
I believe that universities should should be free. As I'm taking part in a uni currently, I don't really see the point of kind of paying like you don't normally pay in secondary school. So it would be cool to not have to pay, but I do understand why they need to.
I think in the UK, university should be for free. If other places have got opportunities to do it, that's great. But there's also a lot of people here who would like the opportunity to go to university, but they can't because they struggle with money or can't afford the bursary.
Yes, I'm so sorry. We do occupational therapy and we are required to do around 1,000 hours of placement, and we don't get paid for it. We have to work around 37.5 hours a week. If you do nursing or adult nursing, you guys actually have to do a lot more placement hours, and they do night shifts, they do day shifts. I have friends, exactly. Friends literally lose sleep over placement, and I feel like it's just unfair that we have to go to uni to pay for the placement, tuition and stuff like that. Bear in mind, we're not getting paid for it.
Although we do get the bursary.
We get bursary, but is there enough to actually cover everything? No.
I believe that universities should be free to UK residents, same as up in Scotland. I definitely think they should. It encourages more people to go to university and actually take part in their lectures. It means education for all as well, for all of the community. Everyone deserves free education.
It should be free because students and certain youth members don't have, such qualifications to get a job. So I feel like it should be cheaper for all students and kids, well not kids, young adults. Yeah, young adults to get into university. Why do you think it should be cheap?
So I think even people with an EHCP should get the things that they should need. Say if they want to head into lawyer, they should be able to have that the accessibility to do that course and to do that provided education that they would like, instead of having to pay if they don't have that source of money. You'll go.
See, what I think is some young people may not get the opportunity to reach their fullest extent of their life because they do not have the funding abilities to pay for uni. Also, meaning that they could not get to where they are capable of getting off in life. That's right.
Are there any benefits for students paying fees for higher education?
Currently, I kind of do think there are benefits to paying. It kind of allows you to be more independent, and you get payment from the government to go to uni. So you're kind of, even though you do have to pay, it doesn't seem like you need to. So it's kind of.
I feel as though they've got more experience, obviously a higher education, because they've gone to obviously possibly better schools to have that higher education. So it would be better, they've got more advantages than someone who's gone to possibly a public school rather than a private school.
Not really.
University gets money?
Yeah, I mean they get the money. They get paid, which is good for them. But sometimes it's kind of like, does the uni actually, give us the information that we need to pass the degree or even just get to that job? Do you get what I mean?
I suppose so, because they're getting more professional teachers and more budget.
I think it is fair.
If the government funded everything wouldn't be great.
Annoyingly, that means the rich will have better education in general, though. So more politicians will just be in their political houses just purely from their education, which they paid for. So it is kind of a win-lose situation in a way.
Absolutely not. I think it's overpriced as such. I say it's certain courses, if you want to go up higher and get that full extent of education, I say you have to pay to that certain extent. But if you want the basic qualifications, I say you don't have. Exactly. I don't think you have to pay. I think it should be free for any type of student, and it should be offered to all types of students as soon as they finish college.
Agreed. I personally think it's disgusting.
For example, in Scotland, universities are for free, and in also many other countries around the world, which are even poorer, much poorer than the UK, universities are for free. So how does that make you feel that we have to pay for higher education in the UK?
In that sense, it's kind of unfair. Currently, the UK is not in a great position with money, so I feel like a lot of people do tend to go to Scotland to go there for free because, it benefits them. In the UK, I feel like we grow up with the idea of having to pay anyways, so it's unfair to have to pay, even if you're struggling, but there are the benefits from the government anyways, so it makes sense.
I feel like it's good, like places that can't afford it as much, they've got it for free. But I feel as a whole, education should be free. It shouldn't just be a privilege for the people who can afford it. I think everyone should have a chance to have an education, whether it is primary, secondary, or higher up in university.
Pretty annoying. It is pretty annoying, yeah. But at the same time, the government pays for a lot of things, so true. We need more money.
True. We don't want taxes going higher. Oh, that's another thing.